Go ahead and start the recording. All right, welcome everybody this morning. This is again your community engagement leader, Janie Cahill, for your CET Scoop. Thanks to everyone that's joining me live this morning. And as a reminder for those who aren't here live, I am recording this and we'll be sending out the link at a later time. So with that, I'm going to get started. I know my manager, my boss, Dan Macon, he always likes to start things off with a quote. However, I thought it'd be really fun just to start start this morning off with a little bit of humor and a little bit of a meme here. So this really actually made me think about kind of my roles in community engagement and yours as financial representatives. When someone asks if they can fax me something, fax? Why don't you just send it over on a dinosaur? So that really made me laugh a little bit. Hopefully you guys have watched The Office before and kind of understand their humor a little bit. But this really made me think about what we do and how important it is, especially in this industry, that things are constantly changing, the culture is changing, and it's really, really important that we don't ever lose sight of that and being willing to always think outside the box and be creative and just not continue to use the same old things over and over as our techniques. So we don't want to be dinosaurs stuck in our ways in this industry. So I just thought that was kind of comical and just wanted to kick it off with that. All right, so with that being said, I know I had this slide last week up, but I wanted to make sure I put this in front of you again of all the upcoming dates. I have added one that we're going to talk about today in more detail. But real quick, just I want to, again, put these dates in front of you. Make sure you have them marked on your calendar. Our September 22nd, we've got our Columbus St. Jude Walk and Run. So again, that is very close. That's going to be coming up here in about 2 weeks or a week now. Going to be taking place at Crew Stadium. October 6th, we've got our women's build. We've got 13 women signed up so far, so I'm really excited about that. And that number, I keep getting emails. So I make sure I did send out some materials. I know I sent out a flyer last week as well as some other materials the last couple of weeks. So if you've not had the opportunity, I really encourage you to continue, sending those out to some of your churches and, some of your members and really help promote that the best as possible, because it's really, really going to be a great opportunity to get some new people out and the way to raise some money for that local women's charity. A new event that I wanted to talk about today, we've added to the calendar, is the Truth at Work event that is going to be taking place on November 9th. I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. Again, the November 17th, our Journey to Generosity event at the Ohio Stadium. Again, this is the event that will be for new members. And I had a really good question during the Q&A session last week about how do you know who those members are and how do you identify those? Erica will be sending out those lists to you, so you do not have to worry about figuring out who those members are of yours that qualify. We're going to do that work for you. So we will be sending out those lists shortly, so look out for those. Also, again, our Giving Tuesday initiative on November 27th, sorry. I did send out a few calendar invites yesterday. So for those of you who are interested in joining us that day, whether it be at the activities at the house itself or hosting your own action team, I have set up 2 separate conference calls, one for the Dayton area and one for Columbus, that we'll be having. So I encourage you to please join those conference calls. I'll be giving you more details about some maybe ideas of specific things that you could do surrounding that action team, as well as the day the day itself. So if you didn't get a chance yesterday, please respond. If you're not able to attend at that time, reach out to me and I'd be happy to reach out to you individually to discuss that. And also, again, don't forget the Connect and Give Back. That's going to be taking place throughout this quarter as a way to get our members, collect their information, their emails, in order to be able to connect with them better as the opportunity to win some money for their church or charity of their choice. So, all right, so moving on, one more update. I wanted to put this in front of you. I know I just mentioned I've talked a lot about the Columbus Crew event, but I did want to give you a list of the teammates so far of our team roster. So our team is growing. We've got about 15 people. We've raised about $875. I wanted to give you the list of people so that way you can look through and see if any of your members are on that list. Again, remember, I just ask, please do whatever you can in this next week to continue to promote it. You guys have been doing a great job. I've been seeing social media posts and sharing out there about this. So I just ask for you to continue to help promote this, and remember that anyone that partakes in this using that promo code THRIVENT is able to walk for free that day, as well as a free Columbus Crew game ticket. So it's a really great opportunity. I also noticed, I think, I don't see any financial representatives named on that list so far. So I hope, like I said, as many of you guys that can come out and join that morning. It truly only takes about a couple hours. It starts at 9. It lasts until about 10:30, 11. So if you're free, I know a lot is going on with you right now, but if you guys are free and are able to come out, we'd love to have you join. Okay, so the new event that I wanted to talk to today that I added to the calendar coming up is the Truth at Work event. For those of you who are not familiar with Truth at Work is a nonprofit peer-to-peer advisory group that helps business leaders and other Christian leaders in the communities integrate their faith into the marketplace. So we fortunately at Thrivent have the ability to combine our faith and our career and talk about it very free. We know that there's a lot of Christian leaders out there in other industries that don't always have the ability to do so. So this group really focuses on, kind of that peer-to-peer accountability, how no matter what industry you are, what job setting, how you can still fulfill your faith in that marketplace. So as part of this group, they host an annual conference each year that takes place in Indiana. Last year was the first year, and how Thrivent sort of got involved was that our CEO, Brad Hewitt, actually spoke during this conference. In doing so, the Thrivent Thrivent Member Network in Indiana actually sponsored this event. And so they really directly plugged in because of our involvement with the Ronald Blue Trust as well as Brad Hewitt. So with that conference, last year, in conjunction with that, our chapter leader, Michael Dirks, that is of the Truth at Work chapter leader here in Columbus, led a simulcast event last year that we sponsored of that event itself that took place in Indiana. This was a phenomenal event. I will tell you, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but the material and the content that day of the speakers was phenomenal. I know there were about 4 or 5 of you financial representatives that came last year to the event. I think every single one of you left felt the same way. It was the material was so helpful on a personal level, and it was a really great opportunity to network and get to know other leaders and the Christian leaders in the community. And I know for a fact there were many relationships as well as new Thrivent members that came from that event as a result of those relationships made. So again, this year we are going to be sponsoring that event that's taking place here in Columbus as the live simulcast. It is going to be in Worthington Christian Church this year, Friday, November the 9th. Last year it was free, but there is going to be a cost this year. But we are going to be at Thrivent, we're going to be given a promo code that we can use and give to our members to use so they can get into that event for free that day. Not looking to make money. The decision was just to, again, as you guys know what it's like planning events, sometimes people are more committed to make sure they show up if they have a little price tag on there. So again, if you have not been to this event last year, I know some of you also led a few events that I reached out to you about regarding the Work as Worship retreat event. If you were involved in that, this is basically the very similar material, similar content. And I know you guys had great experiences with that as well. So I really encourage you to plug into this event, put it on your calendar now. We're going to be giving you more information as it comes out of how to promote it. I also, for those of you that are in the Dayton area, I do know that we had large groups of pastors come from Dayton for this event. So that shows really the quality of the event. People are willing to travel. But for those of you who maybe, for the long haul, maybe look into maybe it's in Indiana, if it's a little closer to you, is there a way you can plug in? I did look on site, and unfortunately, there are not any other live simulcast locations around you, except for Toledo, which is outside of our region in Indiana. But I encourage you to plug in somehow if it's not in Columbus. I do know that there is a chapter president, Chapter Truth at Work president in Dayton, Connie, and forgive me, I can't remember her last name, and I can get that to you. And maybe there's a way that we could plug in that way, whether it be promoting through her network in Dayton and getting her involved that way as far as bringing a group to Columbus. So again, I'll give you more information, but if you do need more, reach out to me, as it's a really great opportunity to plug in. All right, so an announcement I wanted to give regarding our Habitat and Thrivent National Homes Partnership Program for 2019. I wanted to be sure to put this in front of you because this is a change, and a big change for our area and our region. So across the board, Thrivent and the Habitat Partnership has went to what is called a faith builds model. You know, I know for a while I talked to many of you that we've been in a period of transition during some of the pilot testing phases of these faith builds. Based on those results, they've decided to roll this out to the entire as the national program. So regarding the faith build, you know, you're probably wondering, why is this change? Well, if some of you may have been involved with Habitat program more than others in the past, but for those of you who aren't aware, the traditional model was more Thrivent, we'll provide the check, right? We'll pay for the cost of the home, and we're just kind of hoping some members show up. And what we were seeing is that it was the same members over time that were volunteering over and over, and we weren't really gaining any growth and the ability to spread our mission to other congregations and to the community and really leveraging that relationship. So as a means of trying to really help us spread our mission as well and not having all of that fall on those same members who are volunteering all of the time, this is where the faith build model was kind of developed. So we really believe that the faith build can be a much more stronger and much more effective door opener and relationship builder with those churches and communities, and how we can help grow the increase in awareness of Habitat and Thrivent, and well as to grow those church advocates to engage more members. So how does this work? What does it look like? The faith build, essentially, the affiliate works with our local Thrivent team. So that's myself. That's any financial representatives that are engaged, all of you, corporate, all of us, CET, Dan, all of us on our CET team, as well as you all. And we, along with the affiliate, develop a plan for that faith build. We provide then a grant or essentially a generosity challenge where we fund up to 50% of that cost. So we will provide 50% of the home. It is then in coordination with the affiliate and ourselves working together as a team to raise money, to reach out to churches and coordinate them to come together to raise money for the remaining those home costs. So they help do fundraising, help raise the money, help provide the volunteers as a way to pay for that remaining 50%. Ideally, we're looking at bringing 10 to 12 churches together. Obviously, that depends, depending on the amount, funding, and so forth, the cost of the homes. But you can see what we're really trying to do is then putting, more kind of proactiveness on the affiliates part and reaching out, bringing more churches together, which in turn is going to help us open up more doors and inroads into new congregations. And so this is going to be really important if you are someone that's maybe not been affiliated with or been involved with Habitat in the past. This could be a great opportunity that is a way to develop some new inroads and congregations to reach out to these churches using that Habitat branding and name and really working together to help grow your business. I'm sure many of you know, we obviously have a long-standing relationship with here in Columbus affiliate. I've been doing a lot of work and trying to build a relationship in the Dayton area as well as conversations in Southeastern Ohio affiliates. So I'm really, really hoping, I'm thinking really positive that we're going to have some great opportunities for all of you all, hopefully in this next coming year to be able to plug in. All right, and one things I wanted to mention, I know I have for some of you I've seen in person. I know I have shared this with you, but if you have not seen this yet, I wanted to make sure to show this to you. This item right here, we have a new resource out, and I tell you, this got a standing ovation at our CET conference, so we're really excited to see this. So on the Thrivent order system, and I've put the number up here on the slide, so definitely write this down, don't lose this number, 29616. There is a new item out. It is an all-in-one brochure, and it has all the inclusive brochure of all the products and services Thrivent has to offer. Now, what I always tell people, when you're meeting with churches, when you're meeting with COIs, or when you're meeting just with any of those individuals in the community, the worst thing to do, and I've been guilty of it myself, is we have all these different brochures and all these cool things we want to show them, and we just start, paper vomiting all over the table, and it's overwhelming. But the beauty about this is everything is in one place, and you don't have to bring 18 different items with you. So I really encourage you, if you have not already ordered some of these brochures, do so. They are about 50 cents a piece, so they are a little pricey, but I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. If you look at them, and I'm going to show you because I know the picture isn't really great on the screen there, but what you can see is then it's really the new branding. It looks really sharp. It has 3 different tabs on it. So the first tab is the section off, talks all about Thrivent. So it talks about our mission, what we offer, all of those different products. That really talks about what we do and how we help people be wise with money from our mission standpoint. And then a second tab is how we help serve individuals and families. So a whole different section, really sectioned out. How then do we help the individuals? And has everything listed there on one page. And then the third section is, and this is a section I use a lot when I meet with church leaders, is serving churches and institutions. So in that section itself, it has all then the different ways that we partner with churches and institutions, as well as those member benefits. So this is a super, super, super great resource. It's also, don't forget, when you do get these, look on the back. When you open it up, it has this really cool, I don't know if you can see it on the window there, this really cool mapped out the Wise with Money journey and helping people and guiding them on their way no matter where they are on that journey. It's a really, really cool resource. So if you haven't ordered yet, definitely do so. And lastly, just 2 things. I know I'm about out of time. I'm out of time, so as I promised. So just 2 things that I'm going to talk in more detail next time coming up. But just be aware of for your calendar that October is Pastor Appreciation Month. I'll give you some ideas on the next call of some things that you can do to plug into that, as well as October 27th is Make a Difference Day. So those are 2 other ways that you can engage with a lot of the individuals in your community, as well as plug in. So we'll talk about some of those next time. So, and that is what I have for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to stay on the line as always. And if not, I'm going to stop the recording and everyone have a wonderful day.